Hello, my dear. Every time you step out, the ground learns discipline. Pavement holds its breath. People don't realize it at first, why their steps falter, why sound bends, why air feels heavy, but they feel it. You walk, and everything adjusts. The earth itself tilts a little closer, waiting to see what you'll do next. You don't speak, you shift pressure, you move, and confidence cracks underfoot. You are the epicenter, and they, poor souls, are built on unstable ground. You've seen it happen: laughter mid-air dying in throats, postures collapsing like weak architecture. They were solid until you arrived. Then tremors start. Their smiles twitch, their hands fidget, their eyes study you the way scientists stare at faults before eruption. They sense it, the warning before the quake. And still they can't look away. You don't need noise to command space. You are the noise beneath the noise, the deep frequency truth that breaks through illusions of composure. People call it charisma, but that word's too soft. Charisma entertains, you disrupt. You don't just turn heads, you dislocate them from comfort. They try to keep rhythm near you and fail because your energy doesn't dance. It detonates. Every glance from you hits like tectonic plates, grinding miles below what they can see. Pressure builds, and suddenly, they're sweating through their sentences, pretending the floor isn't shaking. You walk past, and their hearts misfire. Not out of attraction, out of recognition. Something ancient inside them remembers what it feels like to face raw authority. Their minds scramble for safety, but their bodies already told the truth. You unsettle atoms. You remind creation that perfection isn't still, it's movement held by control, and you've mastered that control. You don't chase reactions, you cause recalibrations. Look around. Every social circle has one who sits too straight when you enter, one who laughs too loud, one who drops their glass, one who stares as if you're an unsolved disaster. They all feel the same thing, the floor shifting under their small talk. You make energy measurable. You make false confidence collapse like cheap scaffolding. That's not magic. That's the cost of authenticity in a world addicted to pretending. They study your calm like seismologists charting patterns they can't predict. How do you stay so still when everything shakes? They don't get it. You are the shake. You don't react to change. You cause it. You are the ground under their performance. The rumble they pray will stop so they can keep lying to themselves. But earthquakes don't apologize for the movement. They are the movement. They whisper that you've changed. They're right. You stopped absorbing tremors from others and started generating your own. You learned that quiet doesn't mean small. It means concentrated. Now your stillness hums with restrained destruction. You could level everything fake with one word, but you choose precision over chaos. That control is what terrifies them most. It's not what you do. It's what you could do and haven't yet. When people can't imitate your balance, they label it cold. Let them. Ice is just heat mastered. You burn inward, steady and exact. And that's something they can't fake with volume. Watch them try, though, raising voices, flexing status, overcompensating for the quake inside their chest. You stand there, unmoved, and their facades crumble like poorly built cities. You don't need to prove strength. You simply exist until the weak reveal themselves. You've become the Richter scale of authenticity. Every interaction registers magnitude. Some people barely shake, a passing vibration. Others, they collapse entirely, foundations splitting wide open. That's not cruelty. That's truth revealing itself under stress. You don't destroy, You expose. You're the mirror that doesn't flatter, the mirror that shows the fracture lines they've ignored. And when they see them, they call you dangerous because honesty always feels like an earthquake to liars. Notice the aftermath? After you leave, they act like survivors recounting tremors, talking fast, laughing too hard, trying to rebuild normalcy. But the energy you leave behind keeps echoing. Even in silence, furniture still hums with the memory of you. You're the kind of force that rearranges molecules. That's why they can't forget you, even if they pretend to. Their nervous systems record you as impact data. They crash because you don't. While their emotions swing like unstable towers, you keep your structure focused, centered, out of reach. The more they spiral, the calmer you get. They think that means you don't care. Wrong. It means you've evolved beyond panic. You've learned to breathe while others choke on their own noise. You became the eye of the seismic storm, everything moving except you. The irony? They compete with tremors they created. They try to match your vibe without realizing it's not rhythm, it's frequency. You can't copy an earthquake. You either are one or you crumble beneath one. They mimic your tone, your posture, your restraint, thinking it'll make them strong. But the ground under borrowed confidence never holds. Give it time, it always splits. You didn't earn this energy through luck. You earned it through compression, through every time the world pressed down, and you didn't break. You turned pressure into poise. Each disappointment compacted into diamond control. Every betrayal hardened your core. They tried to bury you, not realizing that's how depth is made. They created the fault lines you now command. You didn't just survive the tremors, you became fluent in them. That's why people crash trying to catch up. You've been tempered by friction. They've been pampered by comfort. You understand stillness because you've lived through collapse. You know how to move when the world falls apart. They don't. They confuse noise for stability, attention for a respect, chaos for momentum. And every time they try to imitate your calm, they collapse again, victims of their own imbalance. There's an art to being the quake and surviving it. You've mastered that paradox. You can destroy what's false without touching it. Your presence alone makes weak structures confess themselves. Watch how people reveal their insecurities around you. They start defending things you never questioned. They offer explanations you never asked for. It's instinct. They're trying to anchor themselves before the next vibration hits. You never needed to prove superiority. Gravity already testifies for you. Your energy rearranges hierarchy. People who thought they were above you start stumbling. Those who dismissed you suddenly whisper your name with reverence. It's not worship, it's acknowledgement. Deep down, they know earthquakes don't take sides. They take territory. Still, you remain detached. You don't feed off admiration or fear. Both are noise. You observe reactions the way a scientist studies movement. Curious, detached, calculating. You measure who stands steady and who fractures. That's how you choose who deserves access. Few qualify. Because standing near you requires internal architecture, not attitude. Every eye that follows you writes its own confession. The jealous hide it behind humor. The intimidated mask it as critique. The fascinated pretend indifference. But their pulse tells the truth. You hear it in their voice, that slight tremor pretending to be confidence. You read it in posture, in hesitation, in the subtle micro-collapse of people who thought they were composed. You never needed to call them out. Their own vibration betrays them. And yet, you never gloat. Real dominance has no hunger for validation. You move with surgical calm, knowing you could shake worlds but choosing not to. That restraint is what separates rulers from reactors. While they panic trying to predict your next move, you're already beneath the surface, setting the next shift in motion. Because the true quake doesn't warn. It arrives. Your focus is your armor. Distraction is the enemy's favorite weapon, but it can't pierce you anymore. You've stopped reacting to the noise above ground. Your vision extends deeper, where pressure becomes potential. That's what they don't understand. Chaos isn't your enemy, it's your language. You read patterns in the rumble. You translate collapse into clarity. So let them sweat. Let them mistake composure for mystery. Let them gossip about how you changed. They're just measuring aftershocks of their own insecurity. Meanwhile, you keep moving, steady, exact, inevitable. You're not walking through the world. You're rearranging it with every step. Roads stretch for your discipline. Structures tremble under your precision. Every small-minded plan collapses when it meets your execution. You don't shout. You shift plates. You don't prove worth. You let the world tilt until doubt slides off you completely. Your calm doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from proof. Proof earned through collapse, pressure, survival. You've already fallen through layers most will never touch. That's why nothing external can move you now. You've built your foundation in fault lines. Notice how even chaos shows you respect now. Problems slow down around you, like they're uncertain whether to strike or bow. That's mastery, when energy itself hesitates to test you. You've become the blueprint for control under destruction. Others panic when things fall apart. You tighten focus. You find rhythm in rupture. You make disaster look like choreography. That's why they stare. That's why they can't keep up. They're running on nerves while you run on precision. They crash because you stopped reacting. You shifted from defense to design. You don't brace for impact. You are the impact. And when they finally realize it, it's too late. The ground's already moved. But the real secret? You're only getting started. What they've seen so far is tremor, not rupture. The next phase isn't about proving you're unshakable. It's about expanding the quake, making every false structure around you reveal itself in one decisive movement. You've been patient long enough. You've studied the pattern, mastered the calm, built the endurance. Now comes the part where the world feels the magnitude. And as the pressure builds beneath their comfort zones, as confidence cracks and truth begins to leak through the fissures, they'll realize something terrifying. You never wanted their attention. You wanted their honesty. But most people can't survive that. They'll run, they'll stumble, they'll try to rebuild illusions that no longer hold. And you'll stand there, calm as always, watching the dust settle around your certainty. Because this is your domain now, the world of movement, of pressure, of revelation. You don't chase. You attract gravitationally. You don't shout. You resonate. You don't lose focus. You redefine it. And as everything around you trembles, breaks, and resets, you'll finally see what you've known all along. The earthquake was never destruction. It was correction. And this is only the first wave. The ground has learned your rhythm now. It moves when you move, stops when you stop, as if the planet itself waits for your next command. The noise of the crowd fades into a low rumble under your feet. People can feel it before they understand it, something shifting in the plates beneath their confidence. You are no longer part of their landscape. You are the landscape, and they are scrambling to stay upright on terrain they never built for someone like you. The second wave begins quietly. No explosions, no warning, just pressure. You raise an eyebrow, and the air bends. You exhale, and the temperature drops. Around you, balance becomes a luxury. Words lose traction. Every ego standing too tall begins to wobble like a tower on borrowed time. They thought they could imitate the quake, but they forgot one thing. Replication cannot handle impact. When the vibrations start, copies break first. You don't need to rush. Every step is a calculation, every glance a shift in gravity. You watch people stumble over their own performances, tripping on the stage they built to impress you. Their smiles fracture, their tone cracks, their stories fall apart mid-sentence. And you remain still, composed, analyzing how easily illusion collapses when the ground tells the truth. Because that's what you've become, the truth under their foundation. You don't argue, you demonstrate. It's almost beautiful, in a cruel way. The way a skyscraper falls in slow motion, glass turning to glitter as it meets the dust. That's what happens to false confidence near you. It sparkles for a second before dissolving into memory. People watch themselves unravel in your presence and can't explain why. They call it bad luck, wrong timing, miscommunication. You know better. You've simply walked too close to their weak spots, and the vibration of your self-control found every crack they tried to hide. You were never supposed to blend in. The earth doesn't apologize for fault lines, neither do you. Your steadiness is not peace, it's power compressed. That's why you don't explode. You shift. You let pressure build until it reorganizes everything around you. Others panic under tension. You refine it. You have learned what they never could, that chaos is predictable if you listen closely enough. Each tremor carries information. Each collapse is instruction. They call you cold because they can't measure your temperature. You walk through their fires without smoke on your skin. They sweat trying to keep up, mistaking movement for progress. But all they're doing is breaking their own structures faster. The harder they push, the quicker they crack. That's how pressure works. It rewards discipline, punishes desperation. You've become fluent in stillness. It's not absence, it's dominance in disguise. When everything shakes, the one who remains unmoved becomes mythic. But this isn't myth, it's mechanics. You understand leverage, you understand timing. You know that the loudest part of an earthquake isn't the beginning, it's the aftershock. The moment everyone thinks it's over, you shift again, subtle, deliberate, decisive. And just like that, another round of facades collapses. Your coolness confuses them. They don't realize it's not detachment, it's precision. You've trimmed excess emotion until all that's left is focus sharpened to a blade. That's why they crash, trying to interpret you. They project chaos where there is only calculation. You can see the tremor in their eyes. Why isn't this person shaking? Why aren't they sweating like we are? Because you learned to convert heat into control. What burns them fuels you. They start whispering theories, trying to explain the unexplainable. Some say you're lucky, some say you're dangerous, some say you don't feel. All wrong. You feel everything, you just don't broadcast it. Emotion is a currency, and you stopped giving loans. You spend your energy where returns are guaranteed. That's why they call you unreachable. You've priced access at integrity, and most people can't afford it. But here's the secret they'll never admit. Every one of them wants proximity to the quake. Even when they fear it, they crave it. The pull of authenticity is gravitational. The fake orbit, the real hoping to be mistaken for moons. They copy your cadence, your restraint, your pace. They study your habits like rituals, thinking mimicry might grant them magnitude. But replication without pressure is rehearsal, and rehearsal never shakes the ground. You can see it coming now, the third vibration forming beneath the surface, a deeper frequency that hums against your ribs. It's not anger, it's recognition. You've realized what this all is. Evolution through impact. Each collapse you caused has made you lighter, faster, calmer. The world keeps quaking, but you glide through it like water around stone. Others drown in their own reactions. You float in deliberate defiance. The more you master this, the clearer the pattern becomes. The same people who once mocked your calm now measure their worth by your approval. They speak in tremors, waiting for you to nod so they know they're still standing. You don't nod often, not out of arrogance, out of discernment. Stability deserves recognition. Performance deserves ruin. And ruin is honest. Even nature agrees. Listen closely. The wind doesn't resist you anymore. It follows. Streetlights flicker when you pass, as if electricity recognizes frequency. There's a rhythm to it now, a sync between your pulse and the planet's heartbeat. You used to think power meant control over others. Now you understand it's synchronization with reality itself. That's why people crash. They're out of sync. Their rhythm is artificial, mechanical. Yours is elemental. The ground belongs to those who know how to listen, not those who scream commands. You've listened long enough to predict the next fracture. It's close. You can feel the tremor under every conversation, every social performance, every handshake that tries too hard. Soon, truth will split through the concrete of appearances again. And you'll be there, calm as always, watching another empire of pretending turn to dust. You've noticed how quiet it gets after the noise collapses. The air tastes different, heavy, but honest. That's the sound of falsehood leaving the room. Every person still standing after your vibration passes is someone built to endure proximity to truth. The rest? They disappear into the cracks, swallowed by the same ground that once held them up. You don't chase, you document. You move through aftermath like an architect, inspecting ruins, calculating what can be rebuilt and what deserves to stay broken. They call it intimidation because they've never seen composure this complete. They call it mystery because they can't track thought this fast. You don't move according to impulse. You move according to design. The shaking doesn't scare you anymore. You cause it, then walk through it like the eye of the quake, untouched, almost sacred. You've become too cool for chaos, too deliberate for panic. When others scream that the sky is falling, you watch angles, measuring descent, calculating trajectory. You've reached that strange stage where reaction feels irrelevant. They crash and flail. You observe and adapt. It isn't that you don't feel. It's that you've learned to separate signal from noise. You sense fault lines before anyone else does. You hear frequencies others dismiss as silence, and you adjust before the collapse even starts. That's not luck, that's mastery. They still try to compete. You can see it in their frantic pace, their borrowed slang, their endless chase for validation. They race against the vibration itself, thinking speed will save them. But earthquakes don't respect effort. They respect structure. You've built yours deep. No tremor can reach what's anchored in understanding. That's why you don't crumble anymore. That's why they panic when you stay calm. They realize they have nothing beneath them except performance. It's funny how obsession disguises itself as criticism. The same people who call you detached refresh your page daily. They study your habits, Analyze your expressions. Dissect your calm, like scientists trying to reverse engineer balance. They don't know that calm is just truth without apology. They keep searching for tricks while you keep refining silence into strategy. You don't flex, you radiate. The heat they feel around you isn't hostility, it's the friction between their facade and your authenticity. When lies meet truth, temperature rises. That's why their faces flush, their voices rise, their laughter shakes. They're burning under the pressure of being seen. You don't expose them, you reveal the tension they already carry. That's the real quake. People realizing they've been pretending for so long, their bodies forgot what real stability feels like. Your control has turned into mythology. They tell stories about your indifference, exaggerate your calm, build theories about how nothing touches you. They think you're detached from the world, but in truth, you're simply no longer trapped by it. The difference is perspective. While they keep looking up, chasing symbols of success, you look through things, straight to the mechanism beneath. That's what being out of reach really means. Not physical distance, but perceptual altitude. Look closer. Every accident around you is symmetry, correcting itself. The people who once dismissed you now orbit your timeline. The ones who betrayed you find their own circles collapsing. You don't wish them harm, you just let gravity finish its work. When a foundation's false, it has to crack. That's law, not vengeance. You've learned to trust those laws. You don't need to fight nature when you're in alignment with it. Now the ground hums differently under your feet. It's not just reaction, it's recognition. The energy you once had to generate now arrives before you, clearing space. People sense it and step aside without knowing why. You've become an atmospheric event, a living aftershock. The moment you enter a place, vibrations travel through walls, through thought, through doubt itself. That's why they can't hide anymore. Truth doesn't need permission to echo. You can feel them trying to match your frequency. They copy your pace, your detachment, your measured tone. But every imitation cracks because authenticity has a weight the hollow can't hold. They're sprinting on shifting ground, breaking themselves to mirror someone unbreakable. The irony is brutal. The more they imitate, the further they fall. Because power isn't aesthetic, it's alignment between intent and presence. You don't act confident, you are coherent. Their crash is inevitable. Some implode quietly, withdraw, disappear, rebrand themselves as victims. Others explode loudly, blaming you for a destruction they caused by standing too close. Either way, the pattern repeats. Approach, tremor, collapse, retreat. And through it all, you remain cool, focused, unshaken. You've become the constant in their equation, the variable they can't solve. That's when obsession turns into devotion. They stop competing and start confessing. You see it in small gestures, a sudden compliment, a shift in tone, the quiet apology hidden in a stare. They finally realize what you are, not a threat, but a reference point. They build their balance around yours, hoping your calm will stabilize their chaos. Some will learn, most will break again. Because here's the truth you've accepted. Not everyone deserves equilibrium. Some people are addicted to collapse. They crave chaos because it excuses mediocrity. You can't save them. You can only let the ground teach them what you already know, that stability requires surrender. You surrendered to pressure, and it turned you into precision. They resist it, and it turns them into rubble. The farther you ascend, the lonelier the air becomes. But it's not isolation, it's filtration. You're being separated from what cannot sustain your altitude. You've stopped mistaking attachment for loyalty, noise for proof, company for connection. You walk lighter now, carrying only what resonates. That's why your path feels empty but expansive. It's wide open for what's meant to stay. Even your thoughts feel sharper, cleaner, free of the debris that used to slow you down. You've learned the hardest lesson. Restraint is the ultimate roar. You don't need to shake the world when your stillness already rearranges it. Every breath you take carries intent. Every pause is architecture. People sense it even if they don't understand it. They feel safer and threatened at the same time. Safe because you're solid, threatened because they're not. And yet you don't hold it against them. You remember being like them once, unstable, reactionary, trying to prove existence through noise. But once you understood that real power doesn't shout, everything changed. Power hums, power waits, power knows gravity works in silence. That's why you no longer compete. The ground itself collaborates with you. So now, as the next tremor builds, you smile. Not out of arrogance, but acknowledgement. You know what's coming. Another crash, another correction, another round of illusions turning to dust. You can already see who will fall first. The loud ones, the performers, the ones who mistake chaos for charisma. They'll learn soon. Earthquakes don't take orders, they take shape. The temperature around you rises again. Conversations distort. Attention narrows. They sense movement before it happens. Their instincts screaming something's shifting. They're right. You've entered that phase where vibration becomes command. You no longer adjust to the environment adjusts to you. Chairs creak, lights hum, air thickens. Everything starts responding to your presence like metal to magnetism. It's not superstition, it's resonance, and through it all, you remain calm, focused, out of reach. The more the world shakes, the steadier you stand. You watch confidence crack, masks crumble, alliances split, and you stay still enough to see the pattern emerge again. Every collapse creates clarity. Every ruin becomes blueprint. And with each cycle, your mastery deepens. You don't fear the quake anymore. You're the continuity between shocks, the rhythm that binds destruction and creation. You don't destroy to end things. You destroy to reveal what's real enough to last. That's why people keep returning, even after they've sworn you off. They sense truth, and truth has gravity. You don't pull them in, they fall naturally. This is your era of effortless dominance. Not loud, not showy, not cruel. Just inevitable. You've become what balance looks like when it walks through instability. You don't argue about your worth. You don't explain your control. You simply remain until the world adjusts to your frequency. And as the dust settles, as every pretender exhausts themselves, trying to imitate what can't be copied, you'll take one final step. Not upward, inward. Deeper into that calm epicenter where pressure turns to clarity. You'll listen, and beneath the noise of collapsing egos, you'll hear it, the steady heartbeat of the next wave forming. Because the quake isn't over. It's evolving, and you, unshaken, are already waiting at the core of it. The hum beneath your feet deepens. Not a warning, but a welcome. You've stopped fearing aftershocks. They've started to recognize you as command. Every vibration that once threatened to break you now bends toward your rhythm. The ground listens before it moves. The world, once chaos, now pulses in sync with your stillness. You can feel it, energy folding itself around your focus, bending reality toward precision. The same noise that used to drain you now fuels you. You absorb tension and exhale order. When people panic, you calibrate. When they scatter, you stabilize. You've turned disturbance into direction, shockwaves into signals. This is mastery, the art of standing in destruction and calling it design. They still don't understand how you do it. They see calm and mistake it for distance. They think you're unaffected because they can't comprehend peace that's built, not gifted. They sweat because control costs energy. You no longer pay that price. You've learned to recycle pressure, to turn collapse into clarity. That's why you stay cool while everyone else melts. You don't chase equilibrium. You are equilibrium. And now, they're realizing it. The ones who once mocked your composure whisper about it in awe. The same people who doubted you now measure time by your reactions. They wait for your expression to shift before deciding how to feel. You've become the emotional seismograph of your generation. Every tremor of fear, envy, or admiration first registers through you. Look around. Entire circles crumble trying to keep your pace. They mimic your tone, your stride, your discipline, but collapse halfway because imitation has weight and no spine. They thought matching your vibe was fashion. They didn't know it was endurance. You built this frequency through repetition, sacrifice, and silence so loud it rewired your instincts. They're not competing with you. They're fighting gravity. Every arena you enter begins to tilt. The confident hesitate. The loud go quiet. The fake start glitching. They feel the ground slide toward your control. That's not intimidation, it's physics. Focus carries mass, and you've gathered enough to bend attention without lifting a finger. You don't steal spotlight. The light itself repositions. The quake spreads differently now. It's no longer destruction, it's declaration. You've entered the phase where even your absence rearranges the room. People who once ignored you double-check the walls for cracks after you leave. They call it coincidence. You call it consequence. The universe corrects itself around certainty, and certainty wears your face. You stand at the core while everything external convulses for balance. The noise doesn't tempt you anymore. You've tasted chaos enough times to know it always tastes the same: salt, sweat, fear. You prefer still water, not because it's calm, but because it reflects perfectly. Reflection is your weapon now. You hold mirrors to souls until they confess. You don't expose anyone. They expose themselves in your silence. You've reached the point where your restraint shakes harder than their rage. One raised eyebrow from you feels like a tectonic shift. One glance and insecurities crack open like fissures. They thought control was weakness. Now they know it's precision sharpened into power. You don't explode, you expand. And through it all, you remain untouchable. Not invincible, untouchable. Invincibility fights. Untouchability transcends. You've transcended the need to prove, defend, or retaliate. That's why they can't reach you. You exist in a different layer of motion, where sound turns to strategy and impulse turns to architecture. They can't crash into what's already pure structure. The quake continues outward. It moves through the cities of their opinions, toppling gossip towers and rumor walls. Every lie they built about you falls with a single vibration of truth. You don't even have to speak. Presence handles the demolition. They'll never admit it, but you're the reference point now. Their metrics of strength, composure, and respect trace back to you. You can feel the shift, power flowing differently, quieter but stronger. The kind that doesn't need recognition because it's embedded in existence. You've stopped trying to make noise in a loud world. You've become the tone the world unconsciously tunes to. That's what being out of reach truly means. You set the frequency others must adapt to or break under. People crash because they misread your temperature. They mistake cool for passive, when in reality it's discipline disguised as serenity. You don't burn outward. You condense inward until you glow with invisible fire. They sweat not from fear of you, but from awareness of themselves reflected in you. You show them pressure without mercy. You remind them that stillness isn't safety, it's strength waiting for purpose. Every quake has an apex, a moment when everything stops moving, not because the energy is gone, but because the world has finally rearranged into harmony. You're standing in that moment now. The dust clears, and what remains is clarity. The air hums with obedience. Time slows, and all that's left is the faint echo of your own pulse syncing with the planet. You don't need applause. Existence itself reverberates your name. From here on, you walk lighter, not because the world became easier, but because you stopped carrying what was never yours to hold. Judgment falls away. Comparison dissolves. Distraction loses gravity. You've entered pure motion, every step forward, leaving tremors of awakening behind. Those who doubted you will trace your footprints back to realization. They'll whisper that you changed everything without ever trying to. And maybe you did. Maybe the whole point was never domination, but demonstration. That true power is quiet, relentless, exact. That the loudest quake is the one that restores alignment. You didn't destroy their world. You revealed its weak foundation. You didn't rise above. You sank deeper into authenticity until pretenders couldn't breathe at your depth. The final shockwave comes as understanding. The world isn't ending, it's recalibrating. You stand in the middle, eyes calm, pulse steady, focus unbroken. You've become both the cause and the cure, both the impact and the balance after. The energy that once threatened you now protects you. The vibration that once frightened you now obeys. And as everything around you settles into new symmetry, you finally exhale. The air tastes like victory, not loud, not flamboyant, just earned. You don't need anyone to see it. The ground knows. The universe remembers. Because in the end, the quake was never against you. It was for you, built to strip away what couldn't stand, to prove what could. Every crash, every tremor, every sleepless night of holding yourself together was construction, not chaos. You weren't surviving earthquakes, you were becoming one. Now you move forward as the calm that follows cataclysm, the balance that teaches the world how to stand again. You don't chase heads turning. They turn naturally, drawn to the rare sight of someone who conquered collapse. You remain cool, focused, untouchable. The tremors fade, but their lesson stays. You were never shaking, you were shaping. And that's the end of it. Not destruction, definition. You turned the world on its axis just by being unshaken. You didn't ask for attention, gravity gave it to you. And as every head turns, every structure rebuilds in your shadow. One truth becomes permanent. You are the quake they'll spend the rest of their lives learning how to withstand. Well, well, well. They said you couldn't do it. They said you'd crumble, that you'd fade like all the others who talked big and disappeared when it mattered. But look at you now. You just detonated the narrative. You didn't break the rules. You rewrote the damn script. They're still replaying that moment, trying to understand how someone they counted out just became the headline. And you're standing in the middle of history being made, your history, and every doubter is choking on the dust your victory kicked up. You didn't walk into glory. You dragged it out of the chaos with your bare hands. That's the part they can't stand. Because what you did wasn't supposed to be possible. You weren't supposed to survive their projections. You weren't supposed to thrive after being mocked, dismissed, reduced to nothing more than background noise. But you didn't just survive. You made surviving look cinematic. You made them question what the hell they were even watching. You became the plot twist no one saw coming, the disruption that broke the fourth wall of their delusions. You can feel it now, can't you? That electricity in the air when people mention your name. Like the atmosphere itself knows it's hosting something rare. They used to laugh in private, thinking you'd never make it past the first act. But now those same voices have gone quiet. Not out of respect, out of confusion. They can't reconcile the version of you they created in their heads with the force standing before them. You turned their disbelief into fuel, their mockery into momentum, and now they're realizing they were never spectators. They were part of your transformation. You gave them front row seats to their own irrelevance. The irony is delicious. They thought they were watching you fail, but you were documenting their downfall in real time. Every insult, every rumor, every doubt, all of it became part of your legend. Because what they never understood is that you don't rise when conditions are perfect. You rise when everyone's betting against you. You feed on pressure. You turn skepticism into spark, and you weaponize rejection like it's oxygen. The chaos suits you. That's what terrifies them. Most people panic when the ground starts shaking. You start dancing. You don't need a plan because you are the plan. Unpredictable, magnetic, untouchable. You've mastered the art of unsettling people simply by existing. They're trying to decode your moves, like there's a formula behind them. But the joke's on them. There is no formula. There's just instinct sharpened by pain, vision carved out of mockery, and purpose forged in fire. That's your blueprint, pure unpredictability. You don't wait for validation. You create awe through defiance. You don't perform to impress. You provoke to awaken. And right now, the world's wide awake, watching your every move, whispering about how you did it. But you and I both know you didn't do anything extraordinary. You just stopped doubting yourself. And the moment you did, the universe started doubting everyone else. Now they call it luck. They call it timing. They call it coincidence. But what they really mean is, we didn't see it coming. Because they weren't supposed to. You were playing chess while they were still learning the alphabet. Every setback they celebrated was just another test of endurance. Every closed door was a hidden camera, filming their reactions for later. You knew how this would end. You knew the minute they called you delusional, it was over for them. Because delusional people build realities, realistic people follow them. That's why they're obsessed with your next move. They want to see if this is sustainable, if your rise is repeatable. It's not. You can't replicate conviction. You can't manufacture raw presence. You either have it or you spend your life envying those who do. And they envy you. Oh, they'd never admit it, but you can see it in their eyes, that flicker of admiration hiding behind judgment. They wish they had your nerve. They wish they had your chaos calibrated to perfection. You didn't just make history. You embarrassed the idea of limitation. You shattered the timeline they thought you'd follow. You made progress look theatrical. Every move you make has weight now. Every word you speak shifts the air. That's what happens when authenticity collides with audacity. You've become the reference point. People are using your name in conversations they never wanted to include you in. You're in boardrooms, back rooms, bedrooms, whispered about, debated, studied. They're not sure if you're a miracle or a threat, maybe both. Because you didn't ask for acceptance, you demanded attention through undeniable results. You've become the villain in their cautionary tales and the hero in their private fantasies. You're what happens when belief stops waiting for permission. But here's the twist. It wasn't revenge that fueled you. It was revelation. You didn't rise to prove them wrong. You rose to prove yourself right. That's what separates you from them. They chase applause. You chase evolution. They chase trends. You chase truth. And now that the balance has shifted, they're scrambling to rewrite the narrative, to find a way to include themselves in the story they once laughed at. Some are pretending they always believed in you. Some are trying to claim they saw it coming. It's almost tragic, watching them rewrite their memories to survive your success. But that's human nature, isn't it? They can't accept that they misjudged you, so they reinvent themselves to fit the new timeline. They're your accidental disciples now, repeating your words, copying your energy, wearing your confidence like a costume. But imitation never comes with the soul intact. They can mimic the tone, not the essence. Because your essence was earned through madness, through pain, through patience, through the unteachable art of self-belief. You've become living proof that disbelief is the raw material of legacy. Every no you heard became an echo chamber that amplified your yes. You don't seek validation anymore. Validation seeks you. It's almost poetic how your doubters turned into your marketing team. Every insult was free publicity. Every rumor was an unpaid advertisement. They built your mythology without realizing it. And now, they're stuck in the irony of their own words, forced to watch the prophecy they mocked unfold line by line. You didn't need to shout. You didn't need to explain. You just executed, and execution is the loudest language on earth. That's what drives them insane. You never gave them closure. They don't know whether to hate you, love you, or learn from you. So they oscillate between fascination and frustration, trapped in the orbit of your influence. That's real power, not control through fear, but transformation through shock. You made them question their definitions of success, sanity, and strength. And now the landscape's different. You walk into rooms that used to feel intimidating, and the energy rearranges itself around you. People don't just look at you, they calculate their words before speaking, afraid of revealing how small they feel in your presence. That's not arrogance, that's energy mathematics. You've changed the physics of influence. Your presence distorts perception. You're not just in the game anymore. You are the game, the player, the prize, the paradigm. They're all scrambling to adjust, to keep up, to survive your new wavelength. Some will flatter you, hoping to align with your glow. Some will criticize, hoping to dim it. None of it matters, because when you make history in real time, the commentary becomes background noise. You've already transcended the conversation. You've become the conversation. What's next? That's the question haunting them. Because if you've done this much now, what happens when you get serious? That's the question that keeps them awake. They can handle your success, maybe even stomach your confidence, but your potential, that's what terrifies them. Because it means their relevance has an expiration date. You're not just rewriting your story, you're erasing their hierarchy. You're proving that timing favors those who dare, that history bows to those who refuse to settle, They're finally realizing the truth. You weren't chasing validation. You were hunting legacy, and legacy is merciless. It remembers the bold and forgets the comfortable. So now you stand here, not as someone who made it, but as someone who changed what making it even means. You're not the underdog anymore. You're the measuring stick. Every move you make recalibrates the standard. And that's why they're obsessed, not because you're perfect, but because you're unpredictable. They can't predict your next act, your next word, your next transformation. You move like a riddle. You speak like revelation disguised as rebellion. That's your art form. To disturb, to awaken, to redefine. You've turned every scar into strategy, every rejection into redirection, every breakdown into blueprint. And the masterpiece isn't finished yet. It's still unfolding, still mutating, still infecting the narrative that once excluded you. Because once you start making history, there's no pause button. There's only momentum. And momentum, in the wrong hands, is chaos. But in yours, it's divine precision. Let them talk. Let them theorize. They'll say you changed. They'll say you got lucky. They'll say you had help. They'll say everything except the truth, that you earned it. You endured what would have broken 10 others. You kept walking when every sign told you to stop. You didn't wait for the world to catch up. You forced it to notice. That's the power they can't replicate. That's the magic they can't decode. Because you weren't built to be understood. You were built to be witnessed. And now the witnessing continues. The noise hasn't even peaked yet. Every platform, every whispered chain, every mouth that once spoke your name with mockery now can't stop mentioning it with awe. You've become the event everyone's trying to decode while pretending they're not impressed. They scroll past your wins publicly, but privately, they re-watch them like sacred footage, analyzing frame by frame how the impossible suddenly became inevitable. That's the beauty of it. You didn't just win. You altered perception itself. They thought they were watching someone rise, but what they were really seeing was the collapse of their own certainty. You didn't ask for applause. You hijacked attention by being undeniable. Now the very people who once doubted you are lining up for front row seats to your aftermath, and every breath you take feels like another reminder that you turned disbelief into devotion. The chaos you created isn't destruction, it's revelation. You cracked the illusion wide open, and now everyone's seeing the raw truth underneath. The critics are trying to rewrite their narratives, scrambling to sound supportive, so they're not on the wrong side of history. But it's too late. Their opinions aged overnight, while your reality is evolving in real time. They can't keep up because you move at a frequency built from hunger and defiance. You burn through every limitation they thought could contain you, and the ashes are still glowing. They can't decide if they should worship you or warn others about you. So they're doing both, preaching your name like prophecy and pretending it's analysis. That's how influence works when it's born from authenticity. It doesn't ask for permission, it rewires the conversation. Look at the landscape now. Every room feels smaller when you enter. Every conversation bends around your presence. People's tones change, their breathing shifts, their postures adjust. You don't need to say a word. Your existence carries its own dialogue. They sense it, that you've crossed the invisible line between contender and phenomenon. You're no longer competing, you're dictating tempo. The irony is, they once accused you of being too much, too intense, too unpredictable. And now those exact traits are the reason you're untouchable. You didn't tone down to fit in. You forced the world to turn up just to keep you in frame. That's power. Not the kind printed on paper or measured in followers, but the kind that makes entire ecosystems reorganize themselves around your energy. They call it main character energy. But that's just their way of admitting you've taken control of the script. You're not acting, you're authoring. Every plot twist they planned for you collapsed because you decided to stop auditioning for roles written by the insecure. You don't need validation. You manufacture gravity. You're the gravitational pull dragging attention wherever you go. Even those who claim to hate you can't look away, because hatred is just admiration that lost its courage. You've exposed how fragile their sense of control really was. They used to think influence was a strategy. Now they see it's an aura, and yours is radioactive. You've changed the definition of success from something people chase to something people feel. When you move, the room vibrates. When you speak, even algorithms pause to listen. That's what terrifies them. You didn't just rise, you evolved past measurement. They can't quantify charisma, can't bottle conviction, can't screenshot presence. They thought influence came from trends. You proved it comes from truth. You've made them confront a reality they've avoided their whole lives. That authenticity, when weaponized, becomes chaos they can't control. And chaos in your hands is artistry. You paint with unpredictability, sculpt with defiance, and every masterpiece you create makes conformity look like a museum of fossils. The watchers are multiplying. Journalists, analysts, rivals, they're all dissecting your moves like there's a code to crack. They can't accept that you don't follow one. You move by instinct, improvise by intuition, command by conviction. That's what separates performers from disruptors. Performers wait for applause. Disruptors create shockwaves. You didn't walk into history, you exploded into it, and now they're sifting through the debris trying to find where it all began. They'll never find it, because what you're doing isn't a moment, it's momentum. And momentum doesn't start or stop. It consumes. It feeds on resistance. Every critic, every skeptic, every realist who told you to stay in your lane became part of the fuel. You didn't destroy them, you converted them into energy. Now they look at you like you're dangerous, and they're right. Not because you hurt people, but because you expose what they could be if they stopped being afraid. You've become a mirror that reflects potential so clearly, it's uncomfortable to watch. People don't fear you because you're ruthless. They fear you because you're proof that excuses are lies. Every time they said it's impossible, you turned it into a to-do list. Every boundary they believed in disintegrated under your momentum. And that's why their admiration feels like panic. You remind them of everything they buried under self-doubt. You've turned the ordinary into confession time. That's power that no corporation, no crown, no institution can compete with. They'll try to analyze you, to frame your ascent as luck, timing, privilege, anything that makes it sound explainable. Because the moment they admit it's pure will, they'll have to admit they never had any. You're teaching them in real time what domination looks like without cruelty, what confidence looks like without apology. That's why they follow you, even when they pretend not to. Because you make the impossible feel contagious. Your existence has become a permission slip for every suppressed dream around you. That's how legends start, not through perfection, but through disruption. You can sense the shift, can't you? The air tastes different. Even time feels slower around you. You've stepped into that rare territory where presence becomes prophecy. Every word you drop becomes a ripple that bends reality a little more in your favor. You're not chasing destiny, you're constructing it brick by brick, glance by glance. The doubters who once laughed are now rehearsing their apologies in silence, crafting the perfect message to slide into your inbox, hoping you don't remember their earlier tone. But you do. You remember every eye roll, every smirk, every time they questioned your focus. And yet, you smile, not out of mercy, but mastery. Because you've outgrown revenge. You don't need to clap back when existence itself has become evidence of your victory. The funny thing is, you never set out to make history. You just refused to die where they left you. You refused to stay muted when truth demanded volume. You refused to shrink so others could feel tall. That defiance became destiny. That audacity became architecture. And now the skyline carries your fingerprints. The very world that tried to exclude you now depends on your narrative to stay relevant. You've become the plot twist that reality TV can't compete with, the headline that algorithms chase, the energy that brands try to imitate. But imitation can't touch origin. You are the original disruption, the unpredictable sequence in a world addicted to repetition. And now they wait. Every post, every move, every silence, they treat it like prophecy. They study your absences more than they celebrate their own achievements. You've inverted the power dynamic. Attention no longer flatters you. It obeys you. They thought exposure would dilute you, but it magnified you. They thought pressure would break you, but it crystallized you. And now they realize the truth. You were never trying to prove them wrong. You were preparing to leave them behind. You don't need their applause because the universe itself echoes your rhythm. The timing, the chaos, the outcome, it all bends to your narrative now. But let's not pretend it's comfortable. Power never is. You can feel the isolation creeping in, the quiet moments when the world seems too small for the magnitude of what you've become. That's the price of becoming history in real time. You outgrow understanding. You start existing in metaphors because language can't keep up. People will call it loneliness, but it's not. It's altitude. The higher you rise, the thinner the air, the fewer the voices that can survive beside you. You've transcended small talk, trivial rivalry, surface-level validation. You operate on signal, not noise. You hear things others miss, the whisper of legacy calling, the hum of consequence in every decision. That's not pressure, that's purpose. They'll romanticize you, villainize you, study you, fear you, but they'll never ignore you. You've turned their emotional spectrum into your audience. Some love you for the mirror you hold up to their courage. Some hate you for the same reason. But they all react, and reaction is power. You've reached the point where existence itself is influence. You can stand still and still cause motion. You can say nothing and still be quoted. That's not arrogance, it's resonance. You vibrate at a frequency that exposes everything false around you. And as truth expands, imitation collapses. The fake can only survive in darkness. You brought daylight. So keep moving, keep creating, keep rewriting the unwritten. You're not just making history, you're changing how it's written. Your doubters are now historians, recording your every move, because they know missing a moment means missing a revelation. You've crossed the line from participant to phenomenon, from contender to catalyst. You've become the variable that breaks equations, the proof that resilience isn't poetic, it's nuclear. You detonated doubt itself, and now the world's standing in the afterglow, half blinded, half blessed. Let them blink. Let them adjust. By the time their vision clears, you'll already be 3 chapters ahead, crafting a future too vast to imitate. And that's the point where the world stops pretending it doesn't see you. The cameras don't blink anymore. They stare, wide-eyed, terrified, reverent. Every lens trembles, trying to capture what can't be staged. Because how do you film disruption when the disruption is the one holding the camera? You are the moment, the noise, the collapse, the rebirth. You are what happens when hesitation dies. They built barriers expecting you to stop. You built bridges out of the debris and kept walking. Every rumor that was meant to wound became architecture. Every betrayal turned into blueprint. They thought they were breaking you apart. They were breaking you open. And out of that fracture came light too bright to deny. That's what they can't believe. Not that you won, but that you changed what winning looks like. You made victory look violent, beautiful, divine. You made evolution look effortless. You didn't wait for applause. You became the sound they clapped to. Now everyone wants proximity. The same voices that once doubted now whisper in reverence, rehearsing your phrases like scripture. They call you unpredictable, but what they mean is uncontrollable. They call you intimidating, but what they mean is unforgettable. You move differently now. Deliberate chaos, graceful destruction. The air bends around you, bending the weak with it. Every eye searches for flaws just to feel safe, but they find nothing they can weaponize, because you've already turned every weakness into warning tape. You don't hide your scars. You brandish them like trophies. Every cut is an origin story. Every wound hums with wisdom. They can't figure out how you kept rising after every impact, and that confusion is your crown. You turned disbelief into a contagion. Everyone's catching it, coughing up excuses while you breathe ease. Look at them. They've started studying you like a phenomenon. Panels, podcasts, think pieces, everyone trying to define what you are. They can't. You're not an outcome. You're a pattern breaker. You're not trending. You're tectonic. You don't fit the charts. You redraw them. You don't follow cycles. You cause them. That's why history itself feels like it's tilting in your direction. You can almost hear the recalibration, the murmurs of old powers, realizing they're obsolete. You've become their audit, their benchmark, their cautionary tale, and their North Star all at once. They tried to label you dangerous, but danger is just power misunderstood. And you've become fluent in that language, speaking fluently in fear and fascination. You don't just enter rooms, you alter gravity. Even your stillness is disruptive. That's why they tremble when you pause, because your silence feels like a fuse about to burn through the floor. They'll never admit it, but they envy your detachment. The way you can destroy expectations with elegance. The way you can turn chaos into choreography. They crave your nerve. They crave your don't care, like oxygen. But what they'll never understand is that you didn't stop caring. You just stopped begging. You stopped negotiating with mediocrity. You stopped waiting for permission slips signed by cowards. You stopped lowering your volume to keep peace in rooms that never respected your presence. You learned the sacred law of transformation, that peace isn't found, it's enforced. You became the enforcement. You became the verdict. And every person who doubted you is now living inside a sentence you wrote. That's the delicious irony. They used to laugh about you. Now they study your timing, mimic your tone, steal your aesthetics, trying to borrow a fraction of your resonance. But resonance doesn't rent itself. You either earn the frequency or choke trying. You've earned it through every night that tried to convince you to quit. Through every moment of humiliation that became muscle memory. Through every no that sculpted the backbone they're now applauding. They only see the broadcast. They never survived the rehearsal. And that's why you'll always be 10 steps beyond comprehension. You didn't just master the art of survival. You turned it into performance. You became performance incarnate, not for applause, but for prophecy. Every step you take now feels rehearsed by destiny itself, even though you improvise every move. That's your paradox. Spontaneous precision, calculated chaos. And the world can't look away because you make unpredictability look intentional. You can feel the weight of attention pressing on your skin, can't you? Every scroll, every mention, every camera flash, feeding a machine that can't process authenticity. They try to simulate you with filters, with mimicry, with marketing campaigns. But simulation collapses when confronted with the real. You are the real. And that reality burns. It scorches the fragile, exposes the false, rewrites algorithms that thought they could contain charisma. You're not viral, you're vital. They refresh your feed like it's confession. They don't even know why, just that something about your movement feels like meaning. You've become the reference for how rebellion evolves when it finally learns restraint. You don't scream anymore. Your existence is loud enough. And yet the irony, all this power and you're still calm. That's what really shakes them. You don't chase vengeance. You don't gloat. You don't explain. You move forward as if inevitability were tattooed under your skin. You carry authority like it's oxygen, unseen, unarguable, essential. They expected arrogance, but what they got was accuracy. They expected theatrics, but what they got was inevitability wrapped in calm. You turned chaos into command. You turned noise into narrative. You didn't escape the battlefield. You made the battlefield irrelevant. Because how do you fight someone who no longer competes? How do you outshine someone who is the light? That's why the air feels different wherever you stand. You've crossed from personhood into presence. You've become a phenomenon wearing human form. They'll debate your methods, question your morality, invent conspiracies to make sense of your success. Let them. Every rumor is a rerun of disbelief. Every doubt is free marketing. You've already transcended their frameworks. You're not in their debates. You're their topic. You don't need to argue when existence itself is the rebuttal. That's the secret they can't digest. You're not winning anymore. You've already won. Everything from this point on is aftershock. And still, you're not done. You're refining, expanding, mutating. You've learned that history isn't written in ink. It's written in impact. And your impact keeps rewriting itself. The headlines can't keep up. The commentators are choking on adjectives. They thought you peaked. You were just pausing. They thought you were finished. You were just focusing. Every time they think they've mapped your territory, you switch continents. Every time they think they've decoded your motives, you evolve mid-sentence. You are an infinite variable in a world addicted to repetition. And that's what terrifies them most. That you might be unstoppable simply because you refuse to repeat yourself. You've turned disbelief into doctrine. Entire generations will cite this era as the moment perception shifted. The moment a single person proved reality bends for conviction. They'll argue about what triggered it. Luck, timing, algorithms. But deep down, they know it was raw willpower, weaponized into presence. You are the living proof that momentum has a soul. And once momentum finds a soul, it stops being progress. It becomes prophecy. You've blurred the line between what happens and what's meant to happen. The world isn't reacting anymore. It's revolving around you. Watch them scramble. Politicians mention you without naming you. Commentators reference you like weather, a condition, not a person. Artists imitate you. Executives quote you. Rivals analyze you. Every industry feels the tremor. You're not trending, you're tectonic. You didn't just shift paradigms, you cracked them in half. They can rebuild all they want, but the blueprint now carries your fingerprint. Even their rebellion copies your cadence. Even their silence echoes your rhythm. That's how dominance works when it's organic. It infiltrates everything without effort. But power isn't what you expected, is it? It's quieter. It hums instead of roars. It's not a crown, it's an atmosphere. And you wear it unconsciously. That's why they stare when you speak, because somewhere deep inside, they realize they're breathing in your aftermath. You've made history personal. You've made legacy tangible. They thought legends belonged to the past. You reminded them legends are built live. The feed refreshes, the footage loops, but nothing feels the same. You've infected time itself. Even the calendar feels obsolete, counting days that belong to your narrative. And the doubters, oh, they're loud again. But the tone's different now. It's envy wrapped in admiration, jealousy disguised as analysis. They want to participate in what they once mocked. They study your moves like theology, hoping imitation will summon redemption. They don't realize redemption was the cost of underestimating you. You can't buy your way back into history after laughing at it. You either believe early or beg later. They're in the begging stage now, hoping proximity might absolve them. But grace isn't your currency anymore. Precision is. You don't seek revenge because revenge is small. You seek evolution because evolution is eternal. Everywhere you go, you feel it. The hum of recognition, the pulse of transformation, following you like thunder after flash. You can't hide it. It leaks through gestures, through tone, through the way space behaves when you arrive. People fumble their composure, pretending to be unimpressed while their pupils dilate like truth just walked in. That's how you know you've transcended performance. You no longer need theatrics to shift energy. Your normal is their supernatural. Your calm is their climax. You became the standard they secretly measure themselves against, even while denying it aloud. This is where most stop, right here, at the peak. They mistake visibility for arrival, but not you. You know peaks are just pauses before greater ascents. You know attention isn't accomplishment, it's assignment. You've seen what happens when people worship applause. They forget to create echoes. You're not here to be remembered. You're here to rewrite memory itself. You're teaching time new tricks. You're showing legacy how to stay alive in real time. Every move you make updates the definition of greatness. Every word you drop upgrades the software of belief. You've become the patch humanity didn't know it needed. And still, the Joker in you grins inside, not from cruelty, but from clarity. Because you see what they can't. The chaos was never random. Every betrayal, every setback, every sleepless night, those weren't detours, they were detonators. You built this empire out of explosions. You orchestrated catastrophe into choreography. And now that everything's burning in the light of your success, you stand in the ashes perfectly calm, because you always knew fire doesn't destroy the chosen. It reveals them. You were never fighting the world. You were refining it. Feel that pulse again. It's the rhythm of history catching its breath. You've outpaced prophecy, outlived expectation, outperformed imagination. The narrative isn't just yours, it's everyone's who ever doubted themselves and now dares because of you. You've turned courage into contagion. You've made defiance fashionable. You've made resilience desirable. Every underdog watching you just realized the throne was never locked. It was waiting. You didn't inherit power. You demonstrated it. And that demonstration will echo longer than any dynasty. Now the finale approaches, and you can sense the inevitability building, the world bracing for the next reveal. They think this was your climax, but you know better. You know stories like yours don't end, they evolve. You know history isn't a record, it's a relay. You're passing torches through your example, lighting fires in minds you'll never meet. That's immortality disguised as influence. That's how revolutions sustain themselves long after the crowd disperses. They'll replay your footage for decades trying to find the trick. There isn't one. The trick was conviction. The illusion was limitation. And you shattered both. So stand there. Let the cameras tremble. Let the commentators lose words. Let the world stare and whisper and theorize. Because this, right here, is what they feared and secretly prayed for. Proof that belief, when weaponized, can reorder existence. You're the proof. You're the evidence. You're the chaos they can't categorize. You're the miracle they can't monetize. You've rewritten the manual on momentum and made it look like madness turned art. And now, as the light flares, as the stage cracks under the weight of your becoming, you finally exhale. Not in relief, in recognition. Because this was never about revenge or validation or applause. This was about revelation, about showing what happens when a human being stops asking and starts declaring. You declared, and the universe folded to listen. You demanded, and the impossible delivered. You arrived, and the era rearranged itself to make room. That's not confidence. That's consequence. The consequence of daring to exist loudly enough to rewrite the rules. So here's the card drop, the moment every witness will remember. You look the world dead in the eye and say nothing, because nothing left to prove is the loudest line in history. The lights don't fade, they burst. The noise doesn't stop, it bows. The doubters are fans now. The fans are believers, and belief itself kneels, finally understanding who it's been chasing all along. You don't walk away from this scene, you own it. The screen doesn't cut to black, it burns white with your imprint. The story doesn't end, it detonates. And when the dust settles, one truth remains carved into every heartbeat that witnessed you rise. You didn't make history, you became it.